I ran through backyards crouching, trying to make myself small. I slipped behind hedges, patio grills, kids' plastic toys left in the grass, anything that could hide a man trying not to be seen. A zombie was standing on the other side of a large bush I went to hide behind. I almost ran into it. The creature was facing toward the front of the house. I couldn't tell if it was hunting, sleeping, or just standing there. A full minute crawled past, then another. The thing just didn't move. Not hunting, not sleeping, just waiting. I quietly grabbed a rock and threw it over the bush not too far. Stirred by the commotion, the zombie moved forward a step, stopped, and looked toward the noise. I grabbed more small rocks and threw them past the creature, one at a time. The zombie moved one annoying step after another until it was far enough away so that I could move. Past the house was open land dotted with trees, bush, and freedom. I stayed low, moving fast, looking back, forward, sideways, everywhere I thought a zombie might be hiding. The houses were distant now, just a bad memory, but I had two big problems. Could I find my way back to the trucks? And what will they do when I come back alone? I had lost my map, so now I look for landmarks, and even our footsteps, working my way to the highway. I was sure I had time enough to spare, so I carefully paced myself. I stopped in a thin grove of trees that smelled like wet bark and old leaves. No zombies had followed. I tried not to think of it, tried to focus on making it back to the trucks, but I kept seeing the tragedy unfolding. The biker zombie, Wendy becoming infected, and everyone else being swarmed by the undead. I tried to tell myself it wasn't my fault, but that wasn't completely true. I wasn't paying attention, but a shadowy figure snuck up on me, a rifle in hand. I turned around, saw the gun before I saw the man, and my hands went up. "Where are the others? What happened?" Doba demanded. I was relieved it was one of the Navajo men from the trucks, but worried about the gun pointed at me. "We got swarmed by infected," I explained. "I think everyone's dead. I'm the only one who made it out." "How did that happen?" Doba pressed. I realized we were still far from the trucks. This guy had probably followed our group and maybe even seen the whole thing go down. I composed myself, got my thoughts in order. Watch what you say, I thought. Keep it short, truth only, don't elaborate. This was not your fault. Doba continued to press. I said, "What happened?" His grip on the rifle tightened. I started the story where everything fell apart. I told him I was struggling to find any items on my list. Bo decided we should meet with the rest of the group to see if anyone could help me. Wendy said she knew where some of my items were. She had seen them in a house and took me there. Bo even told me to go with her. Doba stood motionless, unreadable. "We were surprised by a zombie," I continued. "A big fellow. Wendy found a gun somewhere, I don't know where. It was life or death. She shot the creature several times, but not before being bitten." She turned a few minutes later. "You're not supposed to have guns," Doba said. I said, She found it. I was getting angry. I can't undo what happened, but it was not my fault. We got unlucky. We got unlucky, Doba said. They got unlucky. Yes, but what do you want me to do? I complained. If you tell me I can't go back, then fine, so be it. But I don't deserve that. I did what you said. I risked my life too. If I have to do hard labor as punishment, I'll do it. Doba looked at his watch. It's almost 2 o'clock. Where's your backpack? I thought back to the bedroom, envisioned my bag on the floor. It's in the last house I was in, I said. Wait, are you telling me I have to go back for it? Yes, he said. Or you don't. I'm sure there are other groups out there you can join, but you can't come back empty-handed. I can't, I said. The area is swarming with the infected. There's no way I could get in and back out without being spotted. Doba thought for a moment. You need a distraction. Something to draw them away. A loud noise, he suggested. You said there were cars. You could set one of them on fire. Blow it up. You're right. There are cars, but how do I blow them up? What do I use? I asked. A gun, Doba said. You found a gun, right? No, Wendy dropped it in the house. I looked at his rifle, and he could see me look at it. Do you think I could use a rifle? I wouldn't have to get close. I think I could hit a gas tank from range, I said. Doba side-eyed me for a moment. I'm not giving you my rifle. Do you even know how to use a rifle? I know how to use a handgun, I said. Not the same thing, he replied. Can't I just go back to the casino? I could do hard labor. I could go on another run, I pleaded. No, Doba said. The Duke changed his mind about that yesterday. Too many people were coming back from the supply runs with nothing, Doba continued. It's why I was following your group, to make sure you were trying. We found out some people weren't even looking. They wouldn't risk going in, stayed somewhere safe, and came back empty-handed. Too many got hard labor. Then Doba leveled with me. We're running out of supplies, he said. In the beginning, we rerouted trucks from the cities to the casino to stay afloat. We haven't seen a truck in a few days. The supplies you are finding are helping to keep you alive as well as the others. So everything's changed now. You either bring back supplies or you don't come back. I could sense his pity. Doba looked at his watch again. It was after 2 o'clock. I could tell he was thinking about something, coming up with an idea. I crossed my fingers. I have an idea, but we have to go now. Come with me, he said. Doba and I ran fast. I actually struggled to keep up with him. When we saw the homes, he ducked behind trees. You find the house where your pack is, get as close as you dare, and wait, Doba told me. He looked past the houses. I'm going there, he pointed. If I can get a car on fire, they may come. But won't they hear your gun, I asked. No, it's a .22 caliber rifle. Should be quiet enough. He assured me and looked at his watch again. 2:30. Whether I can or can't, I'm leaving at 3 o'clock, he told me. Doba turned to go. How do I know it's 3 o'clock, I asked. I don't have a watch. Doba thought for a moment, looked at the houses, then pulled out a map and pointed to a specific house. There's a weather vane there on the roof. I saw it earlier. I think the house you were in last is also nearby. Doba pointed to another house. If I could get the zombies' attention before I leave, I'll shoot the weather vane. That's how you'll know I'm gone. Doba turned and moved east. I went north to find the weather vane in my house. Crouching next to brush, I worked my way closer. I tried to position myself to see the streets, to look for movement, to look for the house. I finally spotted the house with the weather vane and immediately began to worry. It was a thin metal rooster, but had one wing snapped off, hanging by a strip of rusted metal. Had Doba already shot it? Could it be 3 o'clock? I moved behind a Weber grill, watching the surrounding area, and tried to think. It couldn't be 3 o'clock. I was sure it hadn't taken me that long to get here. I kept looking back at the rooster, hoping I wasn't wrong. Movement in the street. I saw the first zombie, standing still, as if waiting for something to happen. I continued to crouch, my legs getting stiff. I saw more movement, something crawling on a lawn on the other side of the road, and infected on a porch behind it. Quiet moans came from the other side of houses I couldn't see. I think a pop can was being kicked by something shuffling down the street. Doba positioned himself behind 2 trees, hiding in the shade. A parked car in a street was his target. Looking through the scope of his gun, he had a clear shot at the gas tank. He laid on the ground, facing the distant car, 100 yards away perhaps. Adjusted the scope, checked his watch. 2:55. Doba slowed his breathing, cleared his mind of distracting thoughts, and took the first shot. A split second later, a spark popped from a muffler. Missed. He adjusted his shot. The next shot hit the gas tank, and gas came flowing out. Now the hard part, Doba thought. Get the gas to light. He shot at the ground under the car a few times, but couldn't create a spark. The muffler, he remembered. I was watching a zombie walk in circles when a muffled boom came from the west. The noise was followed by glass popping and another louder boom. Then a car alarm went off. The zombie took off toward the sound, followed by many more in the street. They were moaning, calling the others, I think. I waited until the moans became distant, and I saw no more infected go running by. I came out of my hiding spot looking for any lingering zombies, when a sudden noise startled me. There was a sound of something bouncing off the house across the street. I craned my neck, looking at a bush across the road where the sound had stopped. Did a zombie fall out a window? Off a roof? Then I saw it. The rooster was gone. Just a bare rod standing on the roof. Weaving between backyards, houses, and lawns, I worked my way through the neighborhood, crouching low. I went by where I'd seen the others fall to the undead. I saw them living in my mind, terror on their faces, playing over and over as they fought a battle they couldn't win. The fated house where the disaster unfolded was nearly before me. The door was still wide open, the ground stained with blood and turned over soil, the only remaining signs of what had happened to Bo. I relived his final battle, but saw myself in his place instead. Imagined the absolute terror and pain he must have gone through. I forced myself on. Quietly up the front steps I went on the porch to the front door. Standing just inside, I saw no signs of the undead and no signs of the living. There are no infected in here, I assured myself. Get the bag and go. Be quick about it. I saw a clock on the wall and heard it ticking. Amazing. Still working. But of course, why not? It had barely been 3 weeks. 3:15, it said. Oh, Jesus, I thought. I climbed the stairs with haste, trying to be quiet but failing miserably at it. I had only an hour to get back to the trucks. I wasn't sure how far they were. With extra weight of the backpack, it might not be possible. In the master bedroom, I found the full black bag next to my empty backpack. I grabbed the bag by the handles and headed down this hallway. But it was ungainly, and it was going to be impossible to do any running with. I turned around and headed back to the bedroom and transferred what I could to the backpack. I couldn't get everything, maybe only half in the smaller pack. Pulling over my shoulder and attaching the clips, I started out the door when a piece of paper dropped onto the floor. I almost ignored it but picked it up. It was my list of items I needed to retrieve. Shit, I thought. Did I grab these items or not from the bag? I hurried to get the backpack back off and unzipped to see if I grabbed any of the items that were listed in red. Moving things around the pack, I confirmed at least 3 items were indeed from the list. I started to sweat. Will 3 be enough? I heard noise downstairs, and I knew it wasn't good. I had nothing to fight with, and time was passing by fast. I grabbed a part of a broken chair and did a practice swing with it. Mustering up courage, go fast, I thought. Maybe we can fight it on the stairs, take the high ground, and knock it down. I hurried down the hallway, not caring about stealth, and stopped at the top of the stairs, waiting. Loud footsteps around the corner it came, too fast, stumbling on the stairs. The body was mangled, covered in fresh bite marks and hanging flesh. The face had a bald head with sneering teeth and a backpack swinging on the creature's back. I kicked it square in the chest. It fell backward down the stairs in a mess of limbs and dead weight, tumbling step after step. I went after it, nearly missing a step, one hand slamming the wall to keep from hitting my head. I whacked the wood against its skull again and again, but it barely did any damage. Finally, I screamed and kicked and stomped, once, twice, over and over, till the head finally gave in with a wet crunch. I felt through the sole of my shoe. I bent over a little, catching my breath, staring at the dead zombie. I knew that watch, I thought. Bo's watch. I went out the front door fast, looking at the street for movement, running around the front of the house, through the side and into the backyard. I ran, not looking back at all. The run back felt heavy. The added weight of the backpack was heavier than I thought. Jogging was the only way possible. Take a rest and then jog again. Pace myself. Running too fast would have burnt me out. I don't know how far I ran or how much time had passed, but I was by the highway when I saw a truck ahead. So I mustered the will to run. I was feeling good while I ran. I had been careful. I had conserved. I waited for the final push and was giving it my all. I was so proud of myself. I was going to make it out of here alive. Within 50 feet, I could tell something was wrong. Only one truck was there. We had two. Did the other truck leave already? When I got closer, it was obviously not our truck. It was just a random truck, abandoned on the side of the road. I stopped and took deep breaths, blew in and out, and wiped the sweat from my head. Damn it, I thought. I looked carefully along the highway to make sure nothing could see me. To the north, the highway stretched, congested with abandoned cars. Some were accident, and others had the clear signs of struggles. I turned south and saw an empty road for about a mile, but with trucks on the side of the road. Were they moving? Legs burning, I ran south toward the distant trucks, thinking I had seen them move. I wanted to yell out, but that could be a disaster, especially if I drew a horde. One truck drove off while the other was still turning around. Half a mile maybe. I put everything I had into this last stretch. Mouth dry, lungs hurting. Please see me. I'm here. The remaining truck came to a stop. A figure stepped out and moved behind the truck, and I was sure they were looking at me. Doba. I stumbled up to him, tried to talk but couldn't. He spoke to someone and they brought me a bottle of water. "You're late," were the only words I heard from him as I gulped down the water. He helped me onto the truck, handed me a wet rag to place over my forehead. The drive back was silent. Doba stared at me, but I couldn't read his face. When we reached the front gate, the other truck was still there, waiting. A moment later, the gate was open and we went safely through. When I got out of the truck, my legs were still unsteady from the run. "I'll take your pack," Doba said. I looked at the other truck and saw only the drivers, who were staring back at me. Then it hit me. No one from the second supply run was in the other truck. I was the only one who made it back. Doesn't someone want to know what happened? I started to worry. Shouldn't I tell the Duke? "I'll tell him," Doba said. As we walked through the dining hall, another supply group came walking in behind us, was met with cheers and applause. I stopped to look back as Doba watched me. A group that had gone south returned, intact, with a bounty of supplies. The Duke himself had walked in with them, holding up a bag, a big smile, while more bags came in and went to the kitchen. I was the only one taken to a private shower and had to do a strip search. to check me for hidden items. Afterwards, I took a shower, but I didn't feel it, the warm water, or the soap. I don't think I even washed myself. Instead, just stood there, water pouring over me, looking at nothing. The dining hall was a buzz of people talking. Much happiness and relief. Food had been brought in. I heard talk that there was possibility of no meal tonight. Everyone would get water, and hopefully tomorrow would be better. No one spoke to me. I felt like a pariah. Dinner was frugal, and as I ate, I thought about what Doba said. Everyone had so little to eat. After dinner, when the sun was going down, all the lights but a few were turned off as people went to their hotel rooms. At my door, I wondered what awaited inside. I tried the key, it still worked. Opened the door carefully, tensing up a bit, ready for a fight. Everything inside was where I had left it, and no one was waiting for me. I sat on the bed and wondered, what will I be doing tomorrow? Hours passed with thoughts of Bo, Wendy, and the others. I replayed the event. My mind kept overwriting what had happened, trying to convince me of a happier ending with cheer and applause. The sun had set a while ago before tiredness overtook me. As I slipped into my bed, I thought, whatever happens, I'll live another day, and tomorrow I'll fight to live another. The hotel room moved from black to blue with early sunlight. Boots came down the hallway. I woke up to the sound of my door opening, and the world exploded white. A fist crushed in my chin and dropped me back into the mattress and into unconsciousness. I didn't see who it was or the bag that came down over my head. I didn't see the hallway or back stairs when I was dragged down. Placed in the back of a truck, I was taken out a gate and driven away, far, far, far away. When I came to, my chin throbbed and my mouth tasted like copper. The sky above me looked big and too open. There were no gates, no fences, no casino. Just empty land stretching in every direction. My clothes were gone. They took everything back but the underwear. A small backpack bag sat beside me. Inside, a bottle of water, a single can of food, and 2 folded notes. One had my name written in careful block letters. The other just said, "Read this first." One note was from Noah, and the other was from the Duke.